Great, so you're going to start with a mudra. I'm coming up close to the cameras, but just to show you the mudra on your fingers, and then we'll stand and we'll do the pelvic floor exercises holding mudra. So it's called Kashyapa. Sometimes I may not pronounce the Sanskrit words properly. So this one's really good, promotes positivity. So it's a really nice one for that. And you can imagine like a tortoise. And let me show you, and then we'll see what you mean. So if you just take your ring finger and little finger and just bend so you're touching your palm, and then see if you can put your thumb next to that ring finger. It's a bit of a twisting thing. And then see if you can curl the other fingers down. So it's almost like making a fist, but what we have left with is our thumbs sticking out through the middle. And you can have a little wiggle there with your thumbs. So yeah, it's quite a strange one, this one. So this is when it comes to the tortoise, and you can imagine this sort of shell that we've created here, like a shield. So shielding from any negative energy and fighting signs of any negativity, because it's so easy to get to slip into and spiral with the negative thinking. So this mudra, we'll hold it, and if you want you could do the wiggling on the fingers and just holding it either kind of up. You can take it up if you want, or you can just hold it near kind of to the body. I'm just going to let Joe in, and we'll stand and do our pelvic floor exercises. So really good in the morning, this one, 4 to 4 o'clock in the morning. If you're ever up, can't sleep, this is a really good mudra to get into. Visualize yourself as a torch that is surrounded by darkness, and whatever happens, your flame remains steady and unaffected by the darkness. The darkness doesn't have any control over you. You're keeping a positive intention. I do not fear the darkness. I do not fear negativity. So that's the mudra we're working with. Come and stand in the middle of your mat. Again, you can just wiggle those fingers if you need to. Tuck the pelvis under, feet hip width apart. So again, whether you want to go up here, down here, or here, anywhere, but thinking about the shield idea, perhaps, and the tortoise. So how you want to interpret that. Tucking in the pelvis, find the pelvic floor, pull in. Find transverse abdominis and draw in. Take 100%. Just check you're not holding your breath. Hold. We'll go 5 seconds and slow release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a slow release. And then going again. Pulling in, pelvic floor. That TVA, just keeping that length at the back of the neck. Crown of head shining to ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a slow release. Just check you're not gripping your toes. Any tension in the jaw. Pulling in last time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slow release it to 50%. So it's not taking all of your concentration. Just flicking your fingers out from Kashyapa mudra. So just a couple of little flicks from fist to just opening out all the fingers. And let's get into our Pilates warm-up. Okay, right shoulders up to ears, shoulders down, shoulders up, shoulders down. Try and keep hold of that 50% pelvic floor TVA, particularly as we lift our shoulders, shoulders up, shoulders down. If it suits you, you could do a vocal as the shoulders release. Depending on your day there. Couple more. Shoulders up and shoulders down. Shoulders forwards, shoulders back, shoulders forwards, shoulders back. Maybe palms facing forwards then. Shoulders forwards, shoulders back. Maybe you can feel the shoulder blades squeezing together as you take the shoulders back. Just try and keep that TVA, that pelvic floor, engaged. Eye gaze forwards. So let's go a little bit further with this. Shoulders down, slide the hands down the legs, forward folds. Soften through the knees. If you can get your nose between your knees. Inhale, shoulders back, perhaps looking up. Baby back bends there if you want them. And again, forward folds. So growing into this even more if you want to, you could cross the legs, reach the arms up, and then go down. Chin goes to chest, and we're just softening through the knees. See if you can bring your forehead down towards your knees. And then uncurl. Shoulders back as you kind of come down into that as your arms circle down. Perhaps uncross the legs and go the other way if you've gone into that extended version of the forward fold. Just one more. Exhale as you come down and into that release. Feet hip width apart, tuck the pelvis under, just looking side to side, just warming up with the neck. Notice what happens with the shoulders here, any tightness, you might hitch up one of your shoulders. So just keep your shoulders down and back in this position. Try and relax them there as well. And then you can go to the side, chin goes towards the shoulder. Then just see if you can draw a line with your chin down towards your sternum and then round to the other side. And again, notice if your shoulders hitched up. So just keeping those shoulders down and back. Take your chin round. Just really slow, kind of work with the neck. Just one more. Looking down and then looking to the side. Coming into center, and then we're just going to take some arm circles. So reach the arms up, breathing in, reach the arms down, breathing out. Adding in, if you want, put into some balance, go up onto the toes. Maybe you can feel your calf muscles just activate as you lift up those heels. Engage pelvic floor, keep an eye on what you're doing with the pelvis. You're not arching the lower back as you lift. Keeping that length at the back of the neck, you're not looking down or dipping that chin, looking forwards. Nice deep breaths, 2 more here. Growing as tall as you can into that inhale. Heels down and take a side bend. So reaching the fingers down towards the side of the knee. You could just bend in the other elbow into a bit of a lift as we start to kind of ease into what would be a side bend. You could draw that up and over if it feels good, and you can trace just with your fingertips all the way over, just touching the side of the body, the shoulder, the ear, the side of the head, and reach. Try and keep the hips central, the feet facing forwards. Your pace here, so you can really slow this one down if you want to. Eye gaze can go up, you could spiral and look kind of chest to ceilings, looking up to the ceiling. Keeping that tactileness, so the hand that's reaching down, just keep it in touch with the leg. So you can feel with your fingertips into the side of the body. One more. Exhale, side bend. Coming into center, we're going to go to the squat, so take the hips back into space. Option to put in weights if you want, maybe do a couple without, just to get into that lower back stretch. So send the hips back, reach the hands forwards. Feet hip width, keep an eye on the knees, check they're not pronating in. And then if you're feeling comfortable, you could put in your free weights there. You could do your front raise. Circle the arms around. Keeping an eye on those knees aren't pronating in as you take your squat. Squeeze the glutes, send the hips forwards and up. Tuck pelvis under, not arching that lower back. Length at the back of the neck, eye gaze goes forwards. It's tempting to look down as you raise the arms up. Two more. Couple of weeks and we haven't done this one. Shoulders down and back, and then take a scapular set with weights if you've got them. Stay strong in the wrist and the forearm so we're not kind of in this droopy position. Exhale as you take the hands to the sides. Try not to dip forwards with the head. So moving this idea of making a double chin, your ears should be over your shoulders. Couple more. And then just a nice easy twist. So let your shoulders go down and then just gradually take the hands around the body. If you've got the weights, you can keep them in there. Soften through the knees. Engage the pelvic floor. Okay, going to go to a high knee loop band option here if you want. I've done this one before with you. Some of you will have done it, I think. Putting the loop band kind of in the around kind of the edge and the ball of the foot. Feet hip width apart. Now you can put the weights into this today as well. So you can have your weights ready. So opposite arm is going to lift and then it's a high knee. So it's a little bit of a crossbody here. High knee drive. Then last week, we did squats and I said don't just hover over the chair, try not to touch the chair. Well, just have a go now. Just don't put the whole foot down. Just see if you can put a tiny bit of the ball of the foot down, that middle, that kind of really central part. And then just touch it, just like a feather touch. Keep engaging with the core, tuck pelvis under, looking forward, stay nice and upright here. Then keep that high knee position and just see if you can take a running arms drive. So you're driving the elbows back. So if you ever think near the end of a race or you're late for the bus and you need to go faster, if you drive those elbows back, engage the core, your legs have to match. Help you run a bit quicker, but it's a really good little balance exercise this. And then placing that down, let's go to the other side. So it's high knee, opposite arm lift. Just hold in that position. See if you can get your arm kind of next to your shoulder. So my arm's quite, lifted and straight. I know you can't see on the full screen there. Tuck the pelvis under, driving that knee up. Then just going to that little touch. So we're not putting the whole foot down, we're really working with the balance. Engage the core, find that pelvic floor. Try not to arch that lower back. And then hold high knee, running arms. Is one side more tricky than the other? Length at the back of the neck, high gaze forwards. Using the core muscles, keep this balance. Woo! Okay, let's go down with the weights. Last week we did sitting down, we did the toe scrunches, didn't we, with like a towel or something. So we'll do standing ones today. Again, some of you might have done this one. Feet hip width apart, and you're going to try and move forwards by scrunching up the toes. Remember we did it last week with the chair. So scrunching all your toes together and see if you can shuffle yourself forwards. So it's almost like you're lifting up the arch of the foot. It's hard. Don't expect to get too far on this. And you might feel like you have to engage your glutes there as well. I just realised I got those sticky socks on. This is really hard with sticky socks on, if anyone's got them on. If you want to make it more tricky, cross your arms, because obviously you use your arms as a bit of momentum. So you can always try that as well if you want. Should feel like we did last week when we did this. We did it single leg, one at a time when we sat on the chair. Couple more. Just using the feet. Just using the feet to move. Woo! Okay, single leg exercise then. I'll leave it up to you which one you want to do. You've got your lunges, your deadlifts, your dips, or your chair exercise. 10 on each leg. You might have time for 2 sets on the step exercise. Sometimes you find there's more time. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I might deadlift with weights. So you can put weights into these exercises as well if you want. I often don't recommend it on the chair or the steps. I've never felt a transfer putting weights onto those two into real life or general strength. Checking that the feet are parallel facing forwards. We're not having the feet turning out. The knees aren't pronating into that midline. Notice eye gaze, so you're always looking down. So if you can look down, if your body's looking down, but then look up as you come into that upright position. If you feel your balance go at any point, can you use parts of your body to get your balance back instead of kind of just giving in? So really work with it. So all the different, whichever one you've chosen, strengthen knees, be firing up the glutes. Strengthening ankles and feet. We're going to meet with a downward dog, so when you've done your sets on each leg, that's where we're going to be. So you can always make your way there if you want to, when you're ready. Maybe keep your weights handy. I've got some coming up later on. Downward dog, take a jazz walk, just stretch out the backs of the legs. Spread the fingers, spiral biceps towards each other. Feet hip width. You can always play with taking the feet wider. You can go as wide as the mat. Just playing with going into the corners of the stretch with the feet, the ankles. Feel like you're struggling to get into your downward dog. Don't be afraid to bend the knees deeply to get that nice straight line from the hips going down across the shoulders to the hands. It's still a downward dog if you've got your knees bent. Again, maybe a little bit of jazz walking, a couple more breaths in downward dog. And then we're going to go down onto the knees and play with puppy dog. So puppy dog, you have your hips over your knees and it's a really big stretch for the backs of the shoulders and the top of the back. We're trying to get this nice line from the hips going down to the hands. So you can sometimes play with where that is, where the hands are. You sometimes have to find walking the hands away slightly to get into that stretch. Option, you can put the forehead down or you can have the forehead up. I'm going to give you a twist if you want one here. So just taking the hands slightly, bring the hands slightly in, just threading one hand underneath to the side. And then again, try and find that nice line. Then if you want movement, you want more, lift the hand that's reaching forwards, take it up to the ceiling. Taking a small circle on the ceiling, you can play into that shoulder stretch. Put a little bit more intensity there, and neck stretch. And then bring that all up, unravel. You can try that on the other side if you're happy to do a twist. It's a thoracic twist, so mid to upper back. Or a shoulder stretch if you're just working with the thread through without the arm going up. Small circles, working into the backs of that shoulder. Nice, unravel, come up to all fours. Have your weights handy if you want to put weights in on this. We're going to go to Superman with a row back. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Stay nice and strong with this base. So take a moment, find neutral spine. So find that pelvic floor, find that TVA. So I've just put my weights there under my hands. One leg's going to lift, squeeze the glutes, opposite arm, row back. Come to center and you can just quickly switch that, row back. So you can choose here, you could either go palm up, obviously you've got your weight in your hand, and you could actually take it, really work on just tricep row back, so that the dumbbell part of your weight kind of faces the ceiling. You can always try a bit of both. See how it feels. Try not to arch in the lower back, so keeping that pelvis tucked under. Squeeze the glute, eye gaze to the front of the mat. It's tempting to look down and back at the legs and the arms with this one. Exhale, lift. Inhale, reset. 2 more. Then just putting the weights to the side. Just taking one arm up, and we're going to play with corners here, opposite leg extend, and then it's just a one squeeze, 10 seconds. Take things out to the corners, squeezing in that glute, take that leg out to the side, point toes. Eye gaze to the front of the mat, center, and bringing it down other side. Just doing one of these on each side. Lift, opposite arm, opposite leg. Take it round to the corners, keep squeezing. See if you can keep that leg up by the hip, not dropping. And then back round to center. Okay, going to release. We're going to go gate pose. So just take one leg out to the side. I'm only going to just show you this way, just so you've got the view. Slide that hand down that leg, reach the arm up and over. Big inner thigh stretch here. Engaging, pulling in the core. Now it's tempting for this to happen, so just see if you can keep that arm near the ear. Working into that twist, you can push this hand down on this leg, push into that to spiral heart to ceiling. And release. Let's go to the other side. Gate pose, hand down. You might find one side slightly tighter. Just noticing it. Again, work into this twisting idea, this hand on this leg, spiraling heart to ceiling, getting to that stretch. Keep your arm, if you can, up by your ear as it reaches up. A little bit of engagement there with the core. And breathe. And release from there. Okay, come down onto our fronts then. Take Sphinx position. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Send the hips down into the mat. The toes off the end of the mat. Think about lifting up the heart space, the crown of head lifting, all the while the shoulders going down. So some nice little oppositions working. Hopefully you feel that abdominal stretch. Just stay in Sphinx and work with your breath, or if you want, bring the hands a bit closer, lift up and lower cobra. See if you can find that abdominal stretch in there as the hips go down, the pubic bones pressing down into the mat. Send the toes off the end of the mat. One more breath, cobra or sphinx. Lowering all the way down, rest your head on your hands, glute activation, point your toes, just lifting up your leg and lower. Squeeze the glute, get the hamstring to engage, the opposite side of the lower back stabilizing the hips. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 4 more. Just notice if you're really pressing down with the other foot. So see if you can just work the lifting leg, release the other resting leg. Then we're just going to take a single leg kick. So heel comes to bum and then lowers. And try and keep your focus here on the lower back, the hips. Trying not to let them tilt side to side. If you've got that nice and still, you're working with the core. Find the pelvic floor. You can take a bit more of a flow. So the heels sort of cross each other in the middle of the air, not kind of at the bottom of the mat. Are you tilting side to side? So just see if you can stay really still in the hips and the pelvis here. You're not rocking side to side as we do this. And then just take a quad stretch on one leg, reaching for the ankle. Let's hold. Exhale, try and release any resistance there at the front of the leg, the lower back. And swap sides. Time for tilted bow, if anyone wants tilted bow. Otherwise, take both heels up towards your bum and take a windscreen wiper with both heels going one side and then the other side. So it's just a nice lower back kind of release. Tilted bow, reaching for both heels. You could take that lift up the kneecaps, lift up the chest, shoulders back, release it down and see if you can rock it over to the side. Big shoulder stretch. So getting a bit of a choice there on what you want to do. I'm going to go double leg kick today. I haven't done this one for a little while, but it's a really nice one. It's kind of a neck exercise as well. So I'll layer you in. So take your fingers behind you, interlink them, and it's going to be breathing out. Squeeze your shoulders together. Keep your eye gaze down. Lift your chest. And then as you lower, look to the side and both heels come up towards your bum. So you're going into a lift. And then double leg kick, look to the side. It's kind of a lower back exercise, but also helps to get that lift on the top of the spine. Exhale as you straighten your legs. Inhale as you bend. Release, and then we're going to just do two swan dives from that. So cactus the arms, either hands down if you normally do that, or try and go for your full extension. Breathing out, lift head and shoulders. You can add in the arms. Breathe in, breathe out, extend. Come back. Lower it down, just one more. Into that lift. Big extension. Eye gaze goes down. And then we'll release cat stretch. So we're on all fours. Tuck the pelvis under, chin to chest. Send that breath between the shoulder blades. Wrist stretch here if you want. So turn, take the fingers round the outside, go one at a time. Fingers facing towards the knees. Try and send the same weight down through both wrists on your wrist stretch. So from here, a low lunge. So just stepping forwards with one foot. Gently pull in on pelvic floor. Find that stretch there. Now, a little option here if you want a side bend. So just resting your elbow on your hand. Your leg. Your elbow on your hand. Your leg. Reach your fingertips up and over. You can, if you want the challenge, to reach your fingertips down to the mat, down to the floor. And then swap sides. Checking your there, hip width. That back foot as well, if you want to, you could tuck it under. Your choice. And then you could always elbow on knee, reach up and over, reach those fingertips over, or even reach the other fingers down to the floor. Just trying not to hold the breath. And release. Okay, let's go down onto plank now. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Option 1 is knees down. Option 2, legs straight. Find the core, so find that pelvic floor, find TVA. Gonna go knee towards elbow, so Spider-Man's today. So it's a nice little hip exercise if you want a little bit more. So if you can do 10 of these, so elbow toward knee towards elbow, and switch it over. Exhale as you do your movement. Inhale back to center. You can just hold your plank also. No worries. 10 breaths. Here in plank. Try not to look back at the knees, so eye gaze forwards, crown ahead, in line with spine. And then we'll release child's pose, so sitting back to your heels. Perhaps a little wiggle side to side, just like you've got a wave of water just washing over the body. Perhaps bring your forehead down. 5 yogic breaths here, so send the breath down towards the lower back. Okay, so from there we're going to go to the sides. We're going to go to clams, so you can put in your band if you want to. Picking a side, then bend the knees, almost like you're going to fall forward. So a little bit of tension there in the feet. Rest your head on your hand. Lift and lower. Doesn't need to be super high, or the hips shouldn't be rocking to get into that. It can be quite a small movement here to get into that glute med, get that glute med working. Just feeling it around the outside of the bum. My legs are a bit tired. I did a big bike ride yesterday. I went up 2 passes. So Dave will know. We did Birkefell and then Hardknot, if anyone knows. So my legs are tired. Good way of getting strong though, cycling up hills. Okay, so then just placing the bottom leg down, take the top leg and just take some small circles. The one leg circle with bands, quite challenging. Just small circles, just the size of a baby moon or a grapefruit. With control, other way around. See if you can find the pelvic floor with this. Looking ahead if you can, try not to look down at the leg. And releasing down. Just going to take a double leg lift. So one, you can keep the band in there. Lift top leg, lift bottom leg. Reach the arm up and over. Just taking a really big stretch here. Imagine you're a giant pine needle. Really long. Stretch right through the fingertips. Point the toes. Big, deep breath in. And releasing that. Take it down. Coming out of the bands. Let's go on to the, oh, no, actually, how did you feel last week with the side kick with the weight? Maybe I can try this one again before we move to the other side. If you remember this, you can bring the head all the way down. You do your side kick, flex the foot, point the toe, bring it back, and the arm comes forwards. It works a little bit with that row back. We've done it earlier. Did it last week, so I just wanted to try it again just to see how it feels. Following week. Really work into the extensions, get some nice control, flex and point. And release. Okay, let's go on the other side. I think it's quite a nice one to follow on from clowns, that one. Feels like it puts that length there back through the hip flexor. Almost like you're going to fall forwards, then lift and lower. Engage with the core. Find the pelvic floor. Stretching on the neck. Head resting on the hand. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Try not to look down at the legs, looking forwards. Then that bottom leg release, straighten that top leg, small circles. The size of a pumpkin. a culinary pumpkin for soup. Keep the control in then, so slow circling with control precision. Other way around. Try not to look at the leg, looking forwards. Really good, just helping to strengthen those muscles, the little muscles there inside the pelvis, the hips. Okay, let's go double leg stretch, straight pine needle, lift top leg, lift bottom leg, lift rib cage. Take that balanced position. Take your arm up and over, point those toes. So see if you can lift it, you're lifting these legs, you're lifting that rib cage and reach. Like you're a giant pine needle here, really long. Stretch right through the fingertips, point the toes. And releasing down. Okay, let's finish that side with that side kick on the weights 5 times if you're with me here. Rest the head all the way down on the hand, lift the top leg. Get into your side kick, flex that foot, point the toe back, and then you're lifting. So arm up, arm does the row back as the leg goes forwards. Arm up. Engage the core. Control here. Eye gaze forwards, try not to look at this leg, just feel it. And release. Nice way to strengthen through and lengthen through the stride. Okay, great. Let's go on our backs then. Feeling positive. Let's go for the 100 times 5. 5 sets. 4 toe taps, 8 pulses, the 8-second hold. Let's get some right angles behind the knees. So if it means Taking the feet further down, knees, feet hip width apart. Find that pelvic floor, shoulders relaxed, length at the back of the neck. Here we go. 4, 3, imprint that lower back down. Let's not have it tilting side to side with this. 2, 1, lift head and shoulders, pulse the arms up and down, keep your tummy still. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingers to knees, hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. If you want more, tabletop this. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready, pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. And again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Teasers if you want them. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more sets. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're still imprinting lower back down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. 4, 3, palms up. 2, 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Full body stretch. Point the toes, squeeze the glutes, pull tummies in. Get your shoulders up to your ears. Perhaps place one hand on top of the other hand. Streamline position. Any swimmers present? Scrunching up your face. Take a really big deep breath in. And breathing out. Just release. Bending in the elbows. Let the feet turn out. Just relaxing the muscles. 10 seconds. We're going to heel slide, but I'm going to put in the loop band if anyone wants to try it. Same position we did in warm-up, just around the feet. So you tend to have to take the heels a bit further away from the body, and you have to curl up the toes, so flexing the foot. Keep the hips still, and you're working hip width apart. Heel slide with that loop band in around the feet. Otherwise it's just your normal heel slide. Keep the hips still. So what we can do with this, when we've got everything nice and still there, we're engaging that core, and hopefully the loop band puts a bit more resistance here. We're not tilting the hips side to side as we do this. We're keeping the lower back nice and still. You can tabletop that. You can tabletop that anyway, if you haven't got the band in there. Now I'm just taking hands there on hips to keep an eye on these hips. I'm checking I'm not wiggling in here. I'm imprinting lower back down. Working into that single leg stretch. Keep everything at hip width. You could always go hands behind the head, elbows down, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, instead of hands there on hips. Keep imprinting that lower back down. If you're managing elbows to the sides and imprinting, you could always try opposite arm dropping over the head for that really big full body cross body exercise. Keep imprinting lower back down. Couple more. Whew. Okay, just putting the bands to the side, arms up to the ceiling. Take the arms over the head. If you've got the space, circle that all the way around, back down towards the feet. If you haven't got the space, you might just go out over the head, touch the thumbs, and then bring it back forwards. Long exhales, particularly if you're circling those arms around, maybe 8 seconds, something like that. Really slowing everything down. Imprint the muscles in the back and the shoulders down into the mat. Adding in, if you want, you've got your double leg stretch, so hugging knees to chest. Exhale, legs go up towards the ceiling, arms over the head. You can always point toes, or you could flex feet if you want a little bit more of a hamstring move. Keep imprinting those muscles in the back down onto the mat. 2 more. Feet on the mat, arms out to the sides, or cactus if you haven't got the space. And then just allowing the knees to drop to the side, lower back release. Center over to the other side. You should get that chest stretch in there. You've got a neck release if you just look into the other direction, to which way the knees go. Take your chin towards your shoulder. You can always hold, so you can just take that all the way over, just bending the knees. Place your opposite hand to that top knee. And then the other arm reaching up to that far corner. Taking a couple of breaths on each side with that. Okay, just taking a little check on our time. Come back to center. I'm gonna boomerang a bit later, so I'll put hamstring stretching in there for anyone who wants hamstring stretching. So we will touch on that in a minute. So bring your feet a bit closer. You can touch your heels, knees, feet hip width apart. Take a pelvic tilt. Massage the lower back. You can lift your hips up. Chin goes to chest. We're working into our shoulder bridge. Just check your feet are parallel. They're not turning out like a duck. You can take your arms up over your head here. So we could take this up and down, so doing the arms down and then slowly bring the spine back down. Now, option here if you want more of a challenge. Take one leg straight. Take your hands across your chest and then lower it down. Lift it up with one leg. So squeezing in that glute to get those hips back up into that position. Big glute lower back exercise, and you could do 4 on each leg. Otherwise you're doing 8 up and down shoulder bridge. And then you can swap legs. Lift it up first, get that nice extension, and then lower. Press through that foot, lifting back up. Try and stay super strong here. And then hug knees to chest, rock or circle. So if we can bring that up to seated position. So we're going to do roll backs. If you don't want to roll back, you could take your hamstring stretch with your band here and stay lying down. Otherwise, yeah, you could work spine mobility, C-shape the spine to upright. Otherwise, holding onto your shins, rock it back We're going to do boomerang, so we're going to go up to the ceiling shoulder stand, gently take it over, crisscross for 4, shoulder stand, let it come down, cross the legs, pulse 3 times into those legs. So if you're not boomerang, you might be on your back, lying down, hamstring stretch like this. If you're on that boomerang, see if you can do 2 on each side. I mean, not each side, each time. So cross the legs over twice, as in 2 on each ones, 2 on each leg, like that. Hands supporting the lower back as you take it over. You can flex those feet as well to get a little bit more intensity down through that central hamstring. Woo, nice. Okay. Seated position, knees bent. We're going to just go down bubble bath. So hands, knees, feet hip width apart. Hands are shoulder width. Just nice and slowly bring it down. Halfway if that's easy for you, but otherwise you can go all the way down. Take your arms over the head, touch the thumbs over the head. Chin to chest, if we can bring it up, same pace. Nice and slow. Up to seated position. Couple of these if you can. If you want to make it harder, cross the arms. Otherwise the fingers can be really good. Reach the fingers down to your feet. Really slow, nice roll up, really slow. Try and keep the feet down on the mat. Nice. Okay, facing this way, we're going to spine twist. You can always use a cushion or a block if you want to get nice and tall with this. Or legs straight also. Some people don't like crossing their legs here. Flexing the feet just to protect the ankles. Palms together. Breathing it nice and tall. Shoulders relaxed. And breathing out for your twist. Sometimes also interesting, you could go index fingers under the chin, thumbs in towards the sternum. Sometimes just help creating that upright position so that chin doesn't dip forwards too much. Two more. And then just hands resting on your knees, Sufi grind. So we're drawing a circle with the upper, the rib cage, the shoulders. Good exercise for the hips. And then take it back round the other way. Also quite fun for balancing as well. Then come back to center. Let's just go one more time with the Kashyapa mudra. So if you remember, little finger, ring finger, is bending, then the thumb goes through the middle, and then the other two fingers are coming over the top, so the thumbs can just wiggle, and then we'll just take that as high as we can, grow really tall, and reach those arms up. Take that stretch there for the spine and the shoulders as well. Big deep breath in, wiggle those thumbs, and then breathing out, release. Hands down, hands at heart center. Namaste.